It's story time. It's story time. It's story time. It's story time. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to see you on this beautiful Friday morning. Today's story is Harold and the Purple Crayon, and it's by Crockett Johnson. It's all about a little boy who uses a purple crayon to create the world around him. Let's read our story. There he is, drawing all the way around. Wonder if purple's his favorite color. What's your favorite color? One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on. Look, when he didn't have it, he just created it. And now he's going to make something to walk on. What do you think he's going to walk on? He made a long, straight path so he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. Oh, I see. See how he made that, those two lines, the disco diagonal that's big and the disco diagonal that's small? See how it looks like a little trail that he can walk on? That's pretty clever. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across the field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. Look at that. He's doing a good job on trees. Trees are really challenging for me, but I think I might have to copy this, how he did it. My own purple crayon. It turned out to be an apple tree. See the apples all over there? The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. Show me your frightened face. Whoa. I couldn't imagine if I went out for a walk and all of a sudden I saw an apple tree and thought about those delicious apples and then looked and there was a terribly frightening dragon underneath it. I might make this face. And then I would run. It even frightened Harold. So he backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Look at that. See the action lines there? That reminds me of how Mo Willems does that with Elephant and Gerald. Or with Gerald and Piggy. I'm sorry, not Elephant and Gerald. That's the same person. But look, see how it made the little cups in a row right there? So if he's shaking, he must be scared. Suddenly, he realized what was happening. What does that remind you of? Did you say water? Because that's what I was thinking. But by then, Harold was over his head in an ocean. I wonder what he can draw to help himself. Talk to someone around you. What do you think you could draw if you fell in the ocean and had a magic purple crayon? He came up thinking fast, and in no time, he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. You were thinking about too. Tell me I thought that. If you weren't, say not me. Not me. I was thinking of like a giant pool floaty. This is a much better idea if he's in the ocean. He quickly set sail. That means he got the boat moving. And the moon sailed along with him. Look at how happy he is looking at the moon. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He was able to make the shore for him to land on. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. But he drew the anchor. Remember we talk about anchor charts and it's a place to hold your thinking? Well, there's an anchor. It's a place to hold your boat. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and he thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. Ooh, I like picnics. It's been such nice weather lately, too. I really feel like it's a good picnic weather time. There was nothing but pie. Oh, that makes me happy. I would love that. But there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's finishing the 9th one. Wonder how many more he needs till 10. 9, 10. One more. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. Ooh, look at it. Looks like he's drawing an animal face to come and help him eat the rest of the pie. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. Aren't those cute? I like the porcupine the best. It looks like that moose could definitely use some pie. He looks a little skinny. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see, so he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. Well, maybe he can find a way to get back home after this exciting trip. He was tired, and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. Look at where the moon is now. He's even higher than where the moon is shining. It's a pretty big mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped. And there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling into thin air. Oh, super surprised on that. That would be scary. But luckily, he kept his wits. That means he kept on thinking about ideas. And his purple crayon. Look at, he's got a half circle right there. See, all the way around. We know it's a circle because a circle is round and flat. He made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. What a good way to slow himself down. And he made a basket under a balloon big enough to stand in. It's a hot air balloon! Super cool! He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see his house. So he made a house with windows. 1, 2, 3. Kindergarten ruler 3. And he landed the balloon on the grass in his front yard. Look at, there's one more there. 3. One more. 4 windows now. None of the windows was his window. Is he adding more windows again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 total windows. Wow, that's a lot of windows. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. Holy jamoly! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and he's starting on that 15th window. This doesn't remind me of a normal house anymore. It reminds me of buildings. We were sharing a brain. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. Look at the moon peeking out from there too. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. Ooh. He decided to ask a policeman. Well, that's good. You should always look for helpers. Helpers are the people that can keep you safe and answer your questions for you. So he's going to go to a policeman. And you know that policeman's job is to help keep our community safe. So that's a great person to go to. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway. But Harold thanked him. Ooh, very polite. Please, Mr. Panda would have adored that. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. Then suddenly Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. Oh, look, so he's drawing the window around it so he can be already in his room. It was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in and drew up the covers. This is some of the things that I think of when I read this. When it said he made his bed, I was thinking in my brain how I make my bed in the morning and I pull up the sheets. But he didn't have a bed, so he had to use his crayon and make a bed. So it's a different meaning. This means he's creating it. He's drawing. Okay? And when it says he drew up his covers, when you say that you're drawing up your covers, it means that you're pulling up so that way you can stay warm and cozy. But since he didn't have covers, again, he's drawing them. So it's a double meaning word. The purple crayon dropped off the floor and Harold dropped off to sleep. The end. Friends, that's a great thing about imagination. You can take yourself anywhere you want to be and do anything you want to do, and you never have to leave the place that you're in. You just imagine and think and daydream. There you are. Now, purple isn't my very favorite color, so I might use a different color today and draw an adventure that I could have, like Harold did with his purple crayon. I hope you have a wonderful Friday and get out and enjoy the sunshine. Dream big, imagine, and draw. I'll see you later, Nakanos. Bye.